Yo, what up gamers, I'm Vipardak, and today we're going to be watching one of Hansama's Ezreal games. Going to be playing against actually TF played on the Jax. Also, Jose de, although I'm sure I've heard his name before, some kind of pro player. Don't know exactly who, but it's exciting anyway. Also going to be having Core JJ as his support, so going to be his teammate on Team Liquid. So going to be a really interesting matchup, seeing how they are able to match up against TF played here. Okay, gonna be going for the sneaky cheese here. A try. So Grudge is just gonna be standing in the brush while Hansama stands a little bit outside. Not too sure yet why this is the case. Could be that Hansama's just trying to be a little bit safer, and if they see Draven walking up here. Okay, they don't even want to fully commit for the all-in. They just wanted to do a little bit of harass, which is pretty free. And they just needed one person in the brush there for their harass, or sorry, for the vision, so they could get that harass off. Able to just get a really solid advantage there without having to completely all in and putting them at danger of getting ganked by the jungler. Okay, so gonna be a really fast fight here. And someone not wanting to overcommit for the Draven here, just going to be... won't be wanting the Karma there and backing off. And that's going to be a double kill for the Bard. Let's go. So as you can see, Hansama starting here with the Longsword 3 potions. In the end, he would have actually been better off here with a Doran's Blade. Would have given him some shit up HP, so he wouldn't have had to blown flash there, but it's fine. It's not like he could predict this until it actually happened. Gonna be backing right away, probably picking up a tier here. Yep. Already has enough gold for that. Just waiting for getting some more HP back before he leaves the base. They're currently going to be having a massive lead against the Draven. Draven currently has about even farm, but that's because Hansama still hasn't farmed like this entire wave. Notice actually, however, how here he's not actually gridding for this cannon. Doesn't want to take a really bad trade for that, even if the cannon would have died there. Which there was a decent chance it would have. It's actually quite lucky that he didn't miss the cannon there. Even if he could have got that, it wouldn't have been worth all the harass he would have taken from Karma and Draven. So willing to just let it die, but it's lucky that it doesn't actually die there. Pretty nice harass combo for Ezreal there. If you hit the W on a target, then if you use E, it refunds your mana cost completely. So your W and D combined, both guaranteed to land, and it's a lot of damage altogether, even if you can't land like an auto. It's a bit riskier to go for the auto as well, because it means like slightly extending the trade duration, and against Draven you don't really want to do that. But the W on itself is like already quite a decent amount of damage and barely costs any mana, because the E will be completely refunded. Just as long as you're sure you're not gonna die just for Eing in, then it's a really nice harass combo. Okay, Draven not quite able to go in on Bard there as he would have liked to, because Hansama's just sitting there willing to just chip away at him if he does try to go for Bard. And on that HP, Draven can't really afford to go for a fight, so gonna be some really nice harass into Draven again. Just constantly able to land these Qs on Draven. Now, not greeting onto the Draven, but now that Draven is not DPSing, then it's safe to go for Karma. Karma falls. Gonna be trying to go for the Draven too, but not gonna be able to find the kill. Draven will be able to escape, but it's a really good fight for Ezreal here, and now gonna be able to shove in this wave. Get a little bit of a bigger lead, hopefully. Because right now he's actually not too far ahead in farm. Basically, if Draven didn't miss this wave, they would be about even in farm. But they're going to crash the wave in time. And Ezreal will be able to shove yet another wave here. Because if Draven basically only just backed, it's going to leave plenty of time for them to mainly go for this next wave. Maybe go for the plating afterwards if it's squishy enough. But their priority here is going for the wave, not the plating. And I personally here would not go for the plating. Yeah, as you can see. They need to get away here and get their back off as fast as possible. The longer they stay, the more chances Conqueror will actually be able to cancel the back. I'm not going to do that. And probably, yep, grabbing the Sheen here. And a triple longsword, interesting. Of course, it'll all build actually into his build. Double longsword is... Actually, all of it builds into Manamune, now that I think about it. You got double longsword for the Caulfields, and then you got another longsword that builds into the Manamune itself, so... Obviously all going to be going to good use. I imagine he just didn't have enough gold to upgrade to the full Caulfields, and it's not really worth waiting for when you can just grab a third longsword anyway. If it's all going to be building into it anyway. So it's worth noting he's running the magical footwear, and that's not going to be kicking in for another couple of minutes at least still, so... It's pretty much no downside for him doing this. Also, he can always just consume his cookies if he wants to open up another slot for the boots. But probably it won't be a factor anyway. So setting up a freeze here, but clearing out one minion doesn't want to take too much damage here. However, a lot of the damage that he takes here, he will be able to heal back up again with the bar W and also some cookies. And as you can see, it's not really much of a freeze, but it does actually force the mini waves now here to collide more on Hansama's side of the lane rather than in the middle. So even if you're just creating a slow push here, at least you're going to be able to pressure the enemies a lot more easily here, or create a gank opportunity a lot more easily than if the waves crash in the middle of the lane. A lot of the time when you just freeze there, you don't actually have to set up like a proper freeze, just as long as you set up like a really temporary one just to force the waves to your side of the map. That's fine too. Bard fishing for a play. That's all. Constantly eating, and there's pretty much no no way they could punish him for that. So gonna be some free damage. Force the karma to flash. Not sure what that ultima was about. Yeah, just gonna be able to stay here. It's nice to keep pressuring the Draven here. In fact, gonna maybe be a dive with the help of Bard. So using his E there, not to harass the Draven, but actually just to get into position to hit his Q on Draven before the W expires. Doesn't want to proc the W with his E because he doesn't want to take tower aggro there. Wants to wait for Bard to get into position before they commence the dive. Also able to get a plating here and could potentially shove out another wave. Yeah, he's gonna choose to do that even though Bard is back there. Seems to think that it's safe even with Draven hopefully well, presumably coming into the lane soon. So it's just kind of weird that Bard wouldn't stay if he's trying to shove out another wave. Maybe some bad communication there, especially because they're pre-mid. Yeah, here potentially the enemy bot lane can set up a freeze if they want. And personally, I think it's the right choice here, but... Okay, not quite gonna be doing that, nope. Just gonna be shoving immediately, which actually is, it's also fine, because as you can see, Ezreal had a bit of a late back. So if they get to shove this fast enough, then hopefully Ezreal will miss some CS on their turret. At least probably 2 melees should be missed here. Meanwhile, Grudge trying to set up another gank. But they're gonna find him out too early. Yeah, 2 melees missed on their turret for Hansama. Also actually able to grab the Manamune, bring that back. Alright, nice, setting up the Ezreal ult, so it's a free hit once Karma comes out of the Bard ult. Or just pressuring the Draven, forcing him off the turret. Draven doesn't want to be walking up to Bard and getting CC'd, and then Ezreal follows up with a dive and he just dies. Meanwhile, we got TF Blade on the top lane, by the way, just kind of stomping his lane at the moment. Kali's already on 3 deaths, with the help of Lee to be fair, but about 20 CS up. But just not quite as ahead as the Ezreal at the moment. But meanwhile, we've also got a Kindred mid on Ezreal's team. Here, that's 0-2. So at the moment, bot lane is kind of having to 1v9 here. With Rek'Sai supporting them. Rampage. Trying his best to land some harass here. Instead of just going for the minions with his Qs. Okay, that's gonna be a careful Draven. Despite getting exhausted there, Hansama just a little bit too low for that fight. However, at least forces the Draven flash. Looking at the wave state here, not amazing for the bot lane, so Bard is gonna ping Rek'Sai to come here and just shove this out, so he gets some gold, and once this crashes under turret, Draven will be able to miss some CS there. Still, not gonna be missing too much though, since it's a cannon wave. So the cannon will take up a lot of this. Oh, actually, Jack's TPing here. TF played TPing here, so gonna be able to grab pretty much that entire wave and also defend the turret, which otherwise probably would have gone down for Rek'Sai. So Hansama, I think not quite able to make up his mind right now where he wants to be, but gonna choose to go bot. And Olakali finally gets some room to breathe here, catch up and farm a little bit. Also, for the record, the runes on Hansama here are Conqueror, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline, Cut Down. We've also got the Magical Footwear and the Biscuit Delivery. A pretty standard setup for Ezreal. Still hasn't moved over to the First Strike setup, which I believe might be better. But a lot of pro players still aren't running that. But Hoff is still using Conqueror. Also, some people using Lethal Tempo like Uzi, which also seems to be fine, about the same level as Conqueror, maybe. I'm trying to tank up the turret there to get the turret, but not quite able to deal enough damage without the minions there, so yeah, Bard is getting caught there with by the Lee Sin. Gonna be a kill for Jax, unfortunately, but not a shutdown, at least. I'm gonna use that ultimate just to get that cannon, which is hella worth. Chances of needing that ultimate for damage in a fight anytime soon are like relatively low, whereas the ultimate for the cannon is guaranteed gold. Guaranteed results of some kind. So not going to be able to defend this turret against the Jax until he sees the Lee Sin on a ward over there. Before that, as far as he knows, he has no vision here, so Lee Sin could be setting up the dive, but not actually there, so now just going to be able to move up here. Jax is going aggressive, but as you can see, just not quite able to pull off the dive 1v1. Now potentially going to be in trouble to the Bard, but nope. It's going to be able to escape there with the pink ward. So now with Bard, Ezreal will be confident that he's perfectly safe here. Jax doesn't have flash anyway, so the chances of Jax actually being able to set up any like really good picks onto Ezreal here is relatively low, so just so long as he has vision, he knows it's perfectly safe to push there. Okay, Eing in for the aggressive harass onto Lee. Also maybe wanted to try and get in range for the turret gold. I'm not sure he did though. But gonna be able to shove at least one more wave here, then presumably back, I imagine. No, he doesn't actually have that much gold, never mind. So probably he'll shove one wave here and then just rotate mid. Okay, Jax denying the cannon there. Okay. Ooh, Hansama trying too hard to outplay the Lee Sin there, get him to waste his Q on him, but gonna get hit in the end. Lee really patient with his Q, not just throwing it out early and getting juked. Just throwing it when Hansama was actually in a really shitty spot. And just isn't really in a spot to dodge it anymore. Really nice patience from Lee. Hansama just gonna be grabbing the Ruby Crystal, can't really get anything else. Worth noting that he's going for the Triforce over the Divine Sunderer, which I think is really good. I think Divine Sunderer is not as good as Triforce anymore, ever since it got nerfed ages ago, but a lot of people disagree with me there. Most people still favor the Divine Sunderer. Happy to see the occasional pro player running Triforce though. Trying to pressure the Rise here, but can't go too aggressive with the Z. If he gets caught by a Rise snare, he's going to be in trouble, so absolutely just has to try and poke him down with his superior range. Not going to land anything, but intent is there. Trying to match the Rez's push too. Also trying to land some poke and staying around the bot, like, you know, hovering towards the bottom half of the map here while he's on mid lane. So he's ready to rotate if there is a fight that breaks out there, but not like just fully committing before he even knows that there's gonna be a fight happening. Just continues trying to shove out mid lane at the same time until he actually knows if there's a fight or not. Trying to steal the Fiddle there, but not gonna be able to do it. Maybe angling himself. Yep, angling himself for an ultimate there to try and hit as many people as possible, as well as hitting the Drake, but not gonna be the steal, and not gonna be a significant amount of damage either. Not gonna be anything happening there. Gotta be careful here. We can see there's a Lee Sin and Raptors, however, Hansama doesn't know that. That's only a spectator bug. Okay, so Hansama's already got the Mora mana. They're currently going to be able to output a lot of damage, and that'll only become a lot worse for the enemies once he finishes his Triforce as well. Able to put out a lot of damage on the Draven there already, as you can see. With his superior range, just continuing to pressure Draven there, even though he's in a 1v2. Draven just kind of has to back off there. Can't afford to just get hit by another WE by Ezreal, because that would kill him. Probably only really survives there too because of the shield bow. Okay, so gonna throw the ultimate there, trying to cancel Draven's back, but not gonna find them. Is able to find the minion wave, but it's just gonna be farmed for somebody else. Because he's backing here, already has enough for the Triforce, doesn't want to delay that power spike. Not worth staying to shove another wave when you can already get a really huge power spike. You just want to get that ASAP, make sure that if any fight breaks out anytime soon, you're already going to be really strong. You're not having to fight when you haven't spent all that gold, because that would be very suboptimal. Yeah, as you can see, because of that Ezreal ult that he threw, it did a lot of damage to the wave, and that means that Draven, when he gets into the lane, not even going to start immediately killing the wave, just lets the enemy minion wave kill his minion wave, so that denies the entire wave for blue team here. Kind of suboptimal for Hansama. Might have been worth if he had actually cancelled the Draven's back, but instead it was just a really bad ultimate, but not going to be huge in consequence. Anyway, red team going to be able to find a pick on the Draven here. Play trying his best to get something back here, but let's see what he can do. Yeah, there's going to be a Kali coming in here. So I'm not doing too much, doesn't want to risk a turret dive himself, just going to be supporting from the back line. Puts out a lot of damage onto TF Play, takes him down. Continuing to go aggressive with the long range abilities here, but not willing to jump in still. Jumping in now, tries to burst down the rise, but doesn't actually land enough. Fishing for the R there to try and see if he can proc that W2, but not going to land it. As you can see, just constant aggression with his abilities and even jumping in when he sees a chance to hopefully burst somebody down. But not going too over-aggressive either. Only using his E when it's safe. Okay, he gets saved by the Kindred ult here. Perfect. Now again, right now he's out of Draven's range, so he has no reason to jump out or keep running away. He can just keep pressuring the Draven here. It looks like on the surface like he's in a really risky spot, but if Draven tries to like run at him or flash on him, he's still got his jump. He can easily get out there. He's not going to die to one auto, so he's fine. I'm going to start hitting the Raptors here, life-stealing off of them a little bit. Doesn't really care too much about the gold, as you can see. He doesn't even want to get the big Raptor. He just goes some small ones, because why not? But the main focus there was just getting some lifesteal before he can approach this wave. As you can see, mostly focusing on the wave, but also fishing for some Ws. Maybe go for a Q on Draven if Draven ever like steps past the minion wave. Actually gonna take the full wolf camp there. Which makes sense because Rek'Sai just probably doesn't really want to path to wolves anytime soon. Just gonna be fighting here, or trying to find a fight. Very aggressive forward portal there, but gonna be with Akali, so just gonna be pressing the enemies off of the turret. Not gonna be able to defend that. We can see Hansama currently sitting at about 9 CS per minute. And because he's just constantly laning on mid lane, the Kindred isn't forcing him to go on side lanes all the time. Kindred isn't like stealing his farm on mid. Just lets Hansama stay grouped all the time and just stay able to maintain his farm anyway. Ooh. Rise currently got a really big move boost from the TP. Not gonna be able to find Hansama though. Gonna be another turret for the red team here. I'm gonna be rotating over to the Drake, which hopefully should be free for them this time. Jax coming up soon and has TP, but doesn't look like blue team is really in a spot to contest this. Actually going to be a TP from Jax onto Baron, and it did get seen by Bard, so they seem to be aware that the enemy team is probably going for, yeah, 8 Baron cheese here. They don't realize they've been seen, however, so it's gonna be a waste of time. It's obviously just a duo by Jax and Lee. Not gonna be able to burn that in time. So I'm trying to deal some damage to Jax there, but gonna get stunned up, take a lot of damage. Is still alive though. Again, Lee, really good patience. Playing that really well, but not gonna be able to find Hansama anyway, who has the flash. As you can see, Hansama abusing his range advantage onto the Rise there. Has E if anything goes wrong here, but just trying to play as aggressive as he can with his superior range. However, running out of mana though. We'll have to back soon. Or at least until he does, he's not going to be able to go aggressive. Probably just going to look to shove another wave here, maybe. Not much he can do here, but... Okay, looking to try and pressure them off the Baron, maybe. Doesn't have vision, though. Yeah, trying to hit some harass there, but... It's going to be very limited what he can do. Oh, what the hell. He's trying really hard to prevent them getting that Baron, or even trying to steal the Baron there. That was actually really well timed, but Lee just going to be able to secure that. I think he didn't even smite that. I think he just killed it with a Q. So actually, there was a very decent chance Hansama could have stolen that Baron. Just Baron, unfortunately, is not timed quite well enough to get the cure. Or maybe Lee Sin just timed this Q way too perfectly. Okay, I guess Hansama's just pinging the wolves here because he needs them for an item. And Brexar is going to be kind enough to let him have them. Yeah, probably needs... Yeah, probably needed about 150 gold there for Serylda's Grudge, I imagine. I believe that costs 3,200 gold. We'll see what it picks up here. Yeah, going to be the Serylda's. Makes a lot of sense. It's obviously, aside from it just being a really good item on Ezreal in general. Jax is going to be having a lot of armor through his ultimate. Lee Sin already has Tabis and Death Stance. And that's going to be about all the armor on the enemy team, but that's already quite a decent amount. Okay, Hansama going really aggressive here. With the help of his team, just gonna be a free pick onto Draven. Ignoring the wave, just running past it to try and catch the Draven. As you can see here, Akali not contesting the farm from Ezreal, just letting him grab all this farm. This is how he's able to maintain about 9 cents per minute currently on Ezreal. Obviously, you can't quite replicate this in your own ELO games. Like, the vast majority of the time, your teammates will try and steal your mid lane farm. And, I mean, it's not exactly stealing because it's not yours. However, it is the ideal strategy to have the ADC group mid and taking all his farm there. Meanwhile, the mid laner, as you can see, farming top lane. The top laner farming bot lane. The exact order doesn't matter, but, you know, the solo laners should generally be farming these side lanes. And this leaves Ezreal to grab all his mid lane farm. However, if this is not happening in your own games, then what you need to do is go to bot lane whenever this wave is like massively pushed. Shove it out with the help of your team. Usually in your own games, there won't be an enemy solo laner like pressuring you all the way to the turret either. And especially if you have your support with you, you can shove this all. You can shove this wave and this wave and this wave and just shove it all the way to the enemy side, and then you can go back mid and group with your team. And if a fight happens to break out on mid lane while you're not there, that just means you can push this turret, get that, grab yet even more waves, just keep getting yourself fed. You're not going to be in fights, you're not going to be, or in as many fights, you're not going to have as much co-participation as you should, but that's just the adaptation you have to make to maintain proper farm, and just constantly be strong enough to carry, even if you're not getting as many kills as you would like. You know, as you can see, putting in a lot of work here with that range. Gonna be going really aggressive on the Draven here. Gonna be able to exhaust him, but still gonna be able to go. Still gonna go down there. Karma getting him in the end thanks to the ignite, but really close to just winning a 1v2 there, even while not actually staying like too far back. Just going aggressive with the autos, being in Draven's range, and almost wins that 1v2 anyway. That's because he was really strong here. As you can see, Draven only at 2 items while Hansama's at 3. Also probably has quite the XP lead, I imagine. I can't see the levels right now though. Anyway, going to be grabbing a Glacial, so it makes a lot of sense. Most of Jax's damage is physical. Does some magic damage too, but going to be heavily auto attack based, obviously. Lee Sin entirely AD, Draven entirely AD. So Frozen Heart going to be putting in a lot of work for him. On top of the fact that it gives a lot of CDR, it is what really makes it viable for Ezreal. Also gives a little bit of mana, well, quite a bit of mana, which will give you a little bit more AD through your more mana. It's not a huge factor, but I mean, it's not like a massive amount of damage, but you are at least getting some damage from an item that is otherwise purely defensive. On top of the fact that you do get CDR from it as well, which is also a really good stat on Ezreal. Actually, also going to be grabbing the stopwatch. So that's obviously that's like a one-time effect, but it potentially can have a huge impact. So we'll see how we can make use of that effect, because sometimes just buying a random cheesy stopwatch, it will just win you a fight when the enemies don't expect you to use it. Definitely really annoying to get cheesed by the enemy team having a random stopwatch on a champion you wouldn't expect it on, especially at a stage where you wouldn't expect it. Jumping in really aggressively here, but as you can see, the enemy team not in position to punish that. Only Karma is actually in his range. Not gonna be able to get the Karma, but it will split up the enemy team and cause a pick on the Draven. As you can see, not rotating with his team here, just actually pushing the mid lane wave. Now deciding he wants to rotate bot here, because he can see that this fight is dragging out longer than it really should have. The enemies are going to be chasing his team a little bit. Getting caught out by the Ryze here a little bit, but Ryze not going to be able to get the kill. And Hansama able to put out a lot of damage onto him too. Continuing to play really aggressive here. Arguably, potentially, you know, there's an argument to be made that he should have just stayed mid, because he was already there. And there's no guarantee that he gets any kills here. But, yeah, it does choose to go bot lane anyway. Grabbing that wave before now probably choosing to back, or maybe just grabbing these bot side camps. Looks like he's at least going for the Gromp. Maybe we'll leave the blue for somebody else, but probably he is just gonna take that. I don't think anybody in his team uses it better than himself, so yeah, it's grabbing these two camps here. As you can see, his team is gonna be grouping around top side now. The Baron is spawning. That's where all the action is gonna be, so Rek'Sai probably won't be bot side anytime soon. It's probably fine for him to grab all those bot side camps. Still choosing not to back, just staying group, and also grabbing some more farm on mid. Gonna be able to grab that Jax kill. Ooh, going very aggressive on the Draven here. Draven has to flash out. Is able to take him down without even using the exhaust. Has that just in case things go bad. Now, guys, you can see the wonderful bait with the stopwatch. Going in real aggressive. Lee thinks he can punish, but no, he can't. Now, Lee Sin with the GA. Just not going to have the same effect as the stopwatch. Of course, you can't time the GA effect for whenever you want. And, of course, if you're surrounded by the entire enemy team, as you would be if you get baited by an Ezreal stopwatch, then just not going to be able to have as good an effect. Actually, they're all really low here. I'm not sure they can do this. But they're kind of splitting the Baron aggro a little bit. Trying their best to make sure they can get this. And yeah, okay, by really splitting the aggro really heavily and having people drop to like 10% HP. Or like literally 50 HP and then backing off and letting somebody else tank it. Just barely going to be able to pick up that Baron. Alright, so actually selling the stopwatch now and instead grabbing a Ravenous Hydra. Which is really good here. He's not actually completing the Frozen Heart. If you can actually just sit on the... What is this stun called? Hang on. Yeah, Glacial Buckler, whatever that is. And just finish another full item. That's probably going to be a lot better than, say, upgrading the Glacial Buckler into Frozen Heart. And then just grabbing like a Caulfield's Hammer or a Vamp Scepter. You know, these small components, they're like really useless compared to like the full effect of Ravenous Hydra. Whereas a Glacial Buckler is basically already like a mini Frozen Heart, isn't it? Not gonna be the full Frozen Heart, but already gonna be a decent effect by itself. Jack's gonna be trying to catch out Ezreal during the ultimate animation here. Really nice ultimate from Draven there while Ezreal is stunned. Gonna be grabbing that kill, or well, setting it up for his team. Now we're gonna see, yeah, red team actually winning it, losing a team fight here for the first time in ages. Now blue team gonna be trying to get as much here as they can. Oh, yep, red team not gonna be able to do much to contest here. Only have 3 members alive against 5. So their focus right now is just on making sure that nobody dies. So once the blue team gets to these turrets, they can actually start defending properly. And Akali here just trying to waste as much time as possible. Yep, able to maintain the Nexus turrets alive. Now Bard, now that everybody's alive again, gonna be setting up a nice pick of the Draven. Forcing another fight now that Hansama's alive, as well as Rek'Sai. Now Hansama not afraid to get into melee range of Jax there because he knows Jax is not going to be focusing him. Jax wants to get that kill onto Rek'Sai. Or Akali, Kindred, whoever that was, I don't remember. He's able to pick up a lot of kills here. Gonna be 3 kills for red team, 2 for blue team, so just slightly winning out here. Okay, that's, yeah, pretty much gonna be almost an ace. Lee Sin's still alive, but gonna get bullied off of the Drake area by Bard. That's just gonna be a free soul, mountain soul for red team here, which is pretty huge. Ezreal, as you can like probably already tell, is really tanky, even in the best of circumstances. Going for that Frozen Heart or just at the moment the Glacial Buckler, as well as having all this lifesteal from Ravenous Hydra, and also even having some HP from the Triforce, makes him overall like really tanky compared to the average ADC. And so Mountain Drakes and the Mountain Soul, by adding even more HP, just makes him extremely hard to kill. After he's already hard to kill, even, you know, like I said, even under the best of circumstances. Anyway, now as you can see, we're at 34 minutes, and Hansama has about 328 CS. So he's doing a really good job of maintaining his farm here. Usually by this stage, whenever I play Ezreal, my farm has already dropped off really hard. Doing a wonderful job here of staying relevant at all times. So currently sitting at full build. Now it's not as important for him to maintain this farm, but still going to be getting a lot naturally just by, you know, just the sheer fact that he has to push and clear waves. He can now let his teammates get a little bit more farm, should they ever be in a spot where either one of them can farm. But yeah, as you can see here, still shoveling these waves. No teammates are around to take the lost hits, so just grabbing all of that. Also does need still some gold just for maintaining his elixirs anyway. Potentially might want to swap an item out later on. So making sure to keep the mid lane waves pushed in here. Doesn't want the enemy super minions to be shoving waves into his base. At the moment, just waiting for the rest of his teammates to actually start pushing side lanes. But it's going to be pretty rough. At the moment, I think they're just kind of having to wait for their inhibs to spawn. Their options are kind of limited, I think. Because obviously, to ideally pressure here, you want to be pushing at least one wave. But they also need mid lane. They need somebody on mid lane defending those waves. They need somebody on bot lane defending those waves. Which leaves not a whole lot of room for them pressuring top lane. So pretty much just going to be playing the waiting game at the moment. Maybe trying to set up picks if the enemy team is stupid enough to actually die at any point. Okay, going to be a nice Bard ult onto the Draven. So I'm holding onto the ultimate, just wants to keep going aggressive with his regular abilities. A little bait onto the Lee Sin there. As you can tell, he's just really safe in while jumping in aggressively. Okay, nice. Now going to be backing. Enemy Ryzen Jax with the joint split push here. Gets his back cancelled by Karma, however, and will actually... Obviously, he can't back with the enemies trying to stop his back, so has to go aggressive here. It's his only choice. Is able to take down the Karma. Now could look for the back. And as you can see, Draven kind of walking up there, getting ready to maybe cancel the back. And in the process sets himself up to be just killed by Hansama there. So in the end, thankfully, Rek'Sai does go down, but not going to be able to... results in the enemies not being able to push any further than the inhibitor. So now, Ezreal actually going to be going for the Baron here with the Bard. Just doing Baron. I don't think the enemy team has any vision of this, and they would have already checked with Bard Pinks and Red Trinket, so... They just know this is going to be probably a free Baron. Despite having no jungler alive, because the enemy jungler was also dead anyway. Ooh, okay, that... Ryze ult wasn't expected. We're going to be too late to actually defend the Baron. And now that Jax has no E, Ezreal jumping in really aggressively here. Still has his E now if Jax gets E back. But still has really... Yeah, as you can see, he's really willing to go aggressive here. Just letting the Jax stun him. He doesn't care. He knows that as much damage as Jax can put out, it's not going to one-shot him. And after the stun is over, that's his chance to kill Jax. Yeah, so as you can see, just not gonna choose not actually to kill these golems, even though he could easily do it while clearing this wave as well. Just gotta be very slowly clearing this Quadra super minion wave. Costing him a lot of mana in the process. But they're gonna leave the rest of the wave for Kindred. Doesn't need to be lost setting anymore, as already mentioned. Plus, I'm sure, yeah, he's sitting on 4,000 gold, so we've got more than enough for elixirs for the rest of the game. But yeah, now we're seeing that there's only one inhib alive for the enemy team here. Or, well, for his team. And this is actually the best inhibitor for them to not have up. Well, aside from the fact that they want to be going for Elder soon. In that case, it's a little bit inconvenient. But once Elder is not going to be a factor anymore, this is actually the best lane for them to have an inhib down on, because this is the lane they want to be pushing anyway. Because this is where they got at least 2 more turrets to get, or... Yeah, I mean, they could also go for a bot lane turret, but they need to go... Or at least they would ideally want to get this turret at some point. So by defending these waves, they're also going to be pushing the wave that they want to be pushing anyway. Now, only convenience, obviously, is that they want to be around bot side to set up a play onto Elder. So in the meantime, it's very inconvenient for the waves to be naturally pushing into their base on the opposite side of the map. And as you can see, Ryze and Jax still going for the joint, you know, double split push. And it's like on the complete wrong side of the map for red team to be defending at the same time as pressuring Elder. Okay, so Hansama just... being the sole person for his team, just sitting at the Elder right now. Trying to make sure that the enemy team isn't able to get this while the rest of his team defends top lane. However, not gonna be able to solo that by himself. But oof, going really aggressive here. Probably, yeah. No, actually doesn't have the exhaust. So actually gets taken down by Draven there. He would have needed to play that perfectly, just hitting absolutely everything in order to kill Draven before Draven kills him. I'm just not gonna be able to do that. Because now we see blue team taking this opportunity to go really aggressive. Trying to force another team fight without the Ezreal here. The main carry for red team. Jax just barely not dropping there. Okay, that's gonna be Ryze trying to take down Bard, but pretty much, yeah, just instantly dropping there. Ooh, we can see, oof, Bard just with the huge bait there. Able to actually set up an ace onto the entire enemy team there with the help of Akali. Beautiful bait from Core JJ here. Now they're the only 2 people alive, so they're not going to be able to push too far, especially because Karma and Draven are coming up now. But gonna start the Elder, hopefully gonna be able to pick that up. Unfortunately, nobody on his team spawning right now with a TP up. So it's pretty much just gonna be them duoing this for a while. Hansama can't even go help them because he's just gonna clear this wave. I don't know when this Nexus turret went down, by the way, but it did go down at some point. It's gonna be Draven walking up here, trying to set up a steal maybe. Now Hansama's already... He actually chose to abandon the top lane wave. decided he pushed it far enough and just gonna rotate over here and help his team secure this Elder before anybody on the team can contest that. And they're gonna be able to pick that up. As we can see here, Ezreal's still gonna be the one picking up the blue buffs. I mean, he's got a massive mana pool right now. He's got almost 3,000 mana, but obviously he's still able to run out of mana pretty fast here with how easily his Q is spammable. So choosing not to shove this wave too fast, wants to wait and give his team a little bit of time to catch up here before he starts like pushing this wave into their base. Doesn't really care about tanking any of this karma damage. He just life fill it all up really fast. Okay, going really aggressive here again. Ooh, and Bard is gonna be able to set up a free double kill there pretty much. Nice. That's the ace for... Well, actually almost an ace for red team. I'm not sure what Jax was doing all the way over here. Maybe it was just hoping that his team could defend 4v5. And that would lead Jax to just be able to split push and maybe cheese a win there. But not gonna be able to do that, but probably couldn't have won a fight anyway. Definitely could not have won a fight because the red team had Elder there, so... Just tries to go for the cheesy split push. I'm gonna result in a win though. Gonna result in the win for Hansama here and Core JJ winning out against TF Blade. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Feel free to leave a comment to help me out with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, gamers.